Okay, Kara, we're going to do e-stim next, but I forgot to point out one thing about ultrasound. Before you start ultrasounding someone and when you're done ultrasounding someone, you always have to clean the sound head with an alcohol pad, okay? So before you treat your patient, you should clean the sound head with an alcohol pad, just, something like this. Make sure it's clean from the last patient use, all right? It's good hygiene, it's good precaution. All right, so you ultrasound your patient, and when you're all done with your treatment and you wipe the sound head gel off and you wipe your patient off, you also clean the sound head again with a new alcohol swab, okay, for hygienic purposes, and then you put it back. I forgot to mention that. Now, for e-stim, I can't find any patches here in the gym, so I feel bad, but I'm going to show you with this machine. Hopefully you can see that okay. There are some plugs right here in the front of the machine. You're going to plug. Here's your e-stim cords. Okay? So these need to be plugged into the machine. There's only one here. Let me go see if I can find another one. There's two settings here. We're always using this top black setting. They go in here. Okay? For some reason, this machine, we're getting ripped off. We don't have everything we need here. Okay, so here's one. If you're using a setting where you only need a set of 2 patches, this is fine. 1 patch, 2 patch. Okay, hold on a second. Let me hit pause and go see what I can figure out. Okay, I'm back. I found another cord. All right, so we're going to hook up both cords. Same thing here. You just plug this in to the other e-stim port. So we have two e-stim cords. All right. I'll show you how to hook a patient up. I found some patches. These are some large oval patches. You might only use these on like a big area like low back, buttock, hips, maybe quads or hamstrings, okay? There's one on each side, and they're gel based, okay? There's a gel that's an adhesive. So you're gonna take one, plug it in, push it in good and firm, and then you'll plug the other one in, okay? And then we'll just apply it to our patient first before I show you the settings, okay? Let me turn around here. We'll put it on this guy's quad, all right? Here's our dummy guy. Put it on his quad. So I'm gonna gently pull this apart. Here's his knee. So let's do here. All right, these are pretty big. So I'm gonna put it here on your guy here. Press firm. Pull the other one off. We'll put it here. Press firm. Okay, it's adhered to the patient's body, right? So now we can set our machine up. If we were using 4, all right, we would hook up 2 more pads to these 2 and put them on the other parts of the body that we would be using, okay? So it's hooked up to the patient here. We got 2 patches on our patient connected with the cords to the machine, right? Right there. All right, so here, let's set up our machine. Okay, we're gonna start with we're gonna do electrotherapy. So here's the front of our machine, just like when we were doing ultrasound. Here's the front. Sorry, my videoing skills are not good. Electrotherapy. Okay, now here's where we're gonna set up any different kind of therapy you want to set up. Interferential is one that we will use, and Russian is one we will use often in therapy, okay? So let's start with interferential. It's for pain control, right? It's a nice, gentle way to get some good pain control. All right, so we set it up. This machine already is set up for interferential, okay? Carrier frequency is 4,000 hertz with a frequency of 80 to 150 hertz. So that's the variation. That'll be the up, down, right? It'll be between 80 and 150. We don't have to worry about a vector scan. And our treatment time preset at 20. And if that's what you want for your patient, that's great. If you don't want 20 minutes, you just hit the edit button. Okay, edit your treatment time and change your time. So what if we wanted 15? All right, so we changed our treatment time to 15. Okay. Now, these are all the more technical settings. We're not changing the sweep or the vector, okay? The beat is low to high, 80 to 150. We do not need to change that. And the carrier frequency is set at 4,000 hertz. We do not need to change that. Oftentimes with this interferential, it's preset, and we're happy with that pre-modulator, or that setting that's already preset. So we don't have to worry about it. All right? So from here, the machine is set up. The patient is connected, right? We would simply hit the start button. All right. We will turn up the intensity. We'll use our little knob right here to turn up the intensity. You can see where it's changing from 1 to 0.5 to 6 to 7, right? Okay. Now with interferential, what are we looking for? We're looking for comfortably strong, right? So we have the intensity set at 4. Patient says, ooh, that's good right there. I feel it. It's good and strong. Push start. And it's going. All right. If at any point during the session the patient says, oh my God, it's hurting, turn it down, turn it down. Okay. You can come over to the machine and turn it down, or you can simply press pause or stop. If at any time the patient says, I don't feel anything anymore, you can come over and turn it up during the session. And they can say, oh yeah, now I feel it. You don't have to stop or pause unless there's an issue. You know, maybe your connection's loose and the patient's not sure if it's connected, or maybe they're getting not a good connection here with the pads, okay? It could cause some pain and discomfort if the pads weren't adhered to the skin very well, okay? So that's interferential. So we're going to start a new treatment, and I'll show you Russian next. Okay, we're going to go home. Okay, so electrotherapy, Russian. Now, Russian is for strengthening. Okay, for this one, we're going to edit the screen. We're going to edit our settings. Now, for Russian, there's a few more settings. The channel mode, single, reciprocal, or co-contract. Okay, so single would be what we have set up. We have a single line set up, right? 2 patches, 1 cord. That's single. If we were going to set up 2, so maybe we're working on quad strengthening, we would use smaller pads. And what we demonstrated here when you were not available was a small pad here and here on the thigh, 1 channel. A small pad here and here on the thigh would be another channel. Okay? And then we chose co-contract. Why? Co-contract means both lines are set up at the same time. They're working, contracting together, and then relaxing. Contracting together and relaxing. If we chose reciprocal, that would mean this one would be on and then off. And then this one would be on and then off. And they would be opposite. So on, off. All right. And it would be difficult for the patient to maybe work through that. However, if you did reciprocal and you were doing one leg on and then the other leg on, that would be a good choice for reciprocal. Those are technicalities. All right. So for this, we're choosing a single channel because we have these big patches and we only have 1 cord. So a single channel going to this patient. So we're choosing single channel. All right. Our cycle time. Okay. This is what we're looking at. This is a clinical decision-making one. So your cycle time could be continuous, where it's contracting the entire time. Well, that can be painful and can be very fatiguing. It's got a 5 and 5, which means 5 seconds on, 5 seconds off. So for 5 seconds, it's contracting, and for 5 seconds, it's relaxing. All right, here's a 4:12, a 10:10, a 10:20, a 10:30, and a 10:50. Typically for Russian, we're doing a 10:50. So 10 seconds of contraction, 50 seconds of relaxation. 10 seconds of contraction, 50 seconds of relaxation. Okay? The burst frequency, beats per minute, beats per second, all right? The higher the beats per second, the smoother the contraction. Ramp time, 2 seconds. That means if it's on for 10, all right, it's going to take 2 seconds to get to that high intensity. It'll stay at that high intensity for 6 seconds, and then it will ramp down for 2. So 2 up, 6 on, 2 off equals 10 seconds. If you don't want a ramp time, you can turn it off. This machine offers a 0.5 second ramp, a 1 second, a 2 second, a 5 second, okay, or a 0. It just depends on what you and your therapist come up with and what the patient can tolerate. We're not going to change any of these other settings, okay? So single channel, cycle time 10 and 50. We're leaving the beats per second out. Ramp time is off. Treatment time 20. Again, if you want to change the treatment time, you can, but you don't have to. It's whatever is best for the patient. Okay? Same with this. Now you're going to turn it up till the patient gets a good strong contraction, one that is tolerable. This setting on Russian can be painful, and it can be kind of achy, and it can even be kind of bitey. People say it feels bitey and sharp. So this is a setting that can be somewhat intolerable for patients. So you just have to go by what they can do. All right, so let's say they can tolerate 3.7. Push start. All right. Now, this is on at 3.7. So for 10 seconds, it's contracting at 3.7 milliamps, right? The patient should be contracting with it. Now you can see it's down to 0. 50 seconds, it's off. It's resting. All right. And then after 50 seconds of being off, it will contract for 10 and relax for 50. Okay. You can see here it says it's running. And the patient, when it contracts, you can see they're hooked up here. When it contracts, they should be contracting that muscle with it. And then when it's relaxing or off, then they should be relaxing as well. Okay. So pretty soon this will turn back up. Should be coming here any second. So it should go up to 3.7, and there we go. It'll be on for 10 seconds, so the patient should be contracting that muscle, trying to get that muscle to work the whole time, holding, and they get to relax now for 50. Okay? And that'll cycle through that whole 20 minutes. Again, it's plugged into the machine here. We're just using a single channel, but we could choose double, and it's hooked up to the patient here and here. Now that is Russian E-stim. This machine does not do tens. The tens units are separate. We had the students just kind of play with them. But I don't think it's going to be super important for you to see those today. Now this machine also does a few other things. We're not touching on that right now. We didn't even really touch on it in class. All right.